Hello, I'm Gareth Davis, and this is the Championship Rounds for PitchBoxing, where I bring you all the interviews from the combat sports world. Enjoy. The Chalmers man is here. I haven't seen you for about 2.5 weeks. You look like chiseled, like you've been on an oil rig, diving and kind of doing work, and like you look like you haven't eaten. What are you weighing in at?
So last time I spoke to you, I think I was about 82, and I'm now 70. I'm about 81. I'm about 76. I feel like a fucking professional runner. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, really. Yeah, are you doing a lot of running or not?
Every night.
Really?
Just because the fight was on such short notice, and just to keep the weight down. But obviously for fitness and you know what I mean, the long runs, the sprints, just a lot of running on the evenings. Then a sauna, steam, do you know what I mean? Just relaxing after. But yeah, the weight's coming off. Everything is on point. So once again, I'm just I'm excited. I'm fit. I'm sharp, which is all I need to be is fit and sharp and just output. Do you know what I mean? Don't want to be a sitting duck like Deji was. So he fires. I need to fire 1, 2, 3 back. Do you know what I mean? That's the plan.
Just to go to those, you got to be 72 to weigh in, which we worked out as about 158 pounds, just below 54 is like middle, just below middleweight.
Yeah.
And Floyd generally out of Korea has weighed 149, 150. So by the time you step in there against him, you'll have a stone on him, I imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine I'll probably be about 170.
Yeah,
probably 170. Like
you're gonna have to bash him up then with that. You know, you'll have speed. You'll have to bash him up.
I'm just gonna try. What can you do? There's 50 tries, 50 fails. So I'm just gonna try rough him up. If it comes to roughing him up in clinch work, then that's what's just gonna have to be done. Do you know what I mean?
Tell me now, what happens? What happens to you in your life if by some chance you catch him with a left hook and a big right hand, which I know you've got? What happens if he goes unconscious? Just tell me what will happen.
I'll probably
apart from the rematch.
I'll be a multi-millionaire that'll be living on a beach with me children. That's what happens. So if that's not incentive, Gareth, then I don't know what is. I'll have that much money. My kids and myself will have and my family will have a lovely life, which is all I'm doing all this for my 3 boys. So yeah, it's incentive. If I catch him and he even drops on his arse, I'd imagine we'll get a rematch. I think judging by his previous exhibitions, he's had it. I'm not going to say easy but he's had it quite his own way. Do you know what I mean? Obviously,
Logan Paul was a good one.
Logan Paul was about 25 kilos heavier than him. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you just can't let him. You can't let him bully you. In obviously, the man is, like we said, there's no taking away what he is, what he's done. He's one of the best boxers ever. But I'm not intimidated by him. I know that I'm going to get punched in the face. That is a fact. I'm a boxer. So I know I'm going to get punched. So that's one thing I know that's going to happen. So I can deal with that. One thing I don't want to let him do is just let him walk his around the ring at free rein. Because when you're walking around, he can just pick off shots, whatever he wants. So I need to try and stand my ground a bit. And if that means taking a couple of shots to the face, then so be it. As long as I'll take 3 to land 1. Do you know what I mean? All day long. So
you might have to. You might have to.
Well, not even might have to. I'm probably going to have to. But I feel like, no disrespect to Deji, I don't know the man or anything. I feel like he got too caught up in the moment of it's Floyd Mayweather and kind of froze. Do you know what I mean? Like he kind of froze as in, oh, it's Floyd. And any twitch Floyd done, the hands were coming like so high. Gareth, I've been knee kicked, elbowed in the face. Do you know what I mean? So these shots I know are going to land. I know he's going to hit us in the face. So I've accepted that. Like I've just said, if he lands 3, 4, 5, it's going to be with me coming back with maybe 2 or 3. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully one will land. So it's going to be an interesting one. Like I say, I don't want to let him bully us around the ring and walk us down at free will, because then he just does whatever he wants.
Have you studied tape of him or not?
I watch him every night in the gym. I watch videos of him on the treadmill, and just the man's absolutely unbelievable. Let's be honest, unbelievable. But you know, it is. He's obviously. I don't think he's training. He's not training like he used to be. That's for sure. Do you know what I mean? He's probably enjoying retirement. But when you've trained from 5 years old to 46, I think he is next Friday, you're never going to lose what you've got. Let's be honest. He's never going to lose it. I've seen him spar. He's absolutely rapid. So I'm just excited. Let's be honest. For me, it's in a nutshell. It's a no lose situation for me. It's a no lose. Like, right, okay. Let's say he comes out first round and absolutely puts it on us. I'll just tuck up. I'll just tuck up and I'll just ride the punches. Do you know what I mean? I'll try my best to ride the punches. I don't think he has. Don't quote us on this. I don't think he has huge, massive one-punch knockout power, but I know he's got absolutely rapid shots where it's a flash and it's like, where the hell does that come from? So, in a way, for me, it's a no-lose situation. The height of his career, the height of my career, he was 5-time world champion. I was borderline alcoholic. Do you know what I mean? So, it's two totally different paths. So, for me, as a win would be to get through all the rounds without getting finished. That's a win. That's a huge, huge win for me. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
So that to me will hopefully, if I can get through the 6 or 8 rounds, whatever it is, that's a massive win for me. That puts me right up there with the big names like we spoke about. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if he comes in blows,
Tommy Fury and Jake Paul.
Tommy Fury, Jake Paul,
KSI.
KSI, I would take the win or lose of that fight in a heartbeat. After I've been having talks with Tyrone Woodley's name's getting thrown about. So these, like I said, these fights that we're getting away from is now seem to be right back in arm's reach. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, it's all for me children. So I'm just gonna head down and I'm just gonna do exactly what I've been working on in the gym. And like I say, if I can survive the 6 or 8 rounds, then that's a fucking huge win for me.
He's got a presence about him, Floyd. Do you need to be psychologically strong next week and treat it? You're treating it like a proper boxing match. He probably won't, because he's saying he's just showing the next generation. He put that into with me. He's showing the next generation the boxing skills of a professor. But do you need to be very hardened to him psychologically when you're around him next week?
Nah. I'm just gonna have fun with this. Listen, like the man, I'm certainly not going to be disrespectful, as in like disrespectful. Basically, I'm not going to be disrespectful. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. He's given us an opportunity that I've grabbed with both hands. So good. I'm glad he's given the people like myself these opportunities. You know what I mean? Because he literally pulled me out of a dark place in December to now. I'm like a totally new man. I'm in the gym.
Are you flying mentally? Yeah, and emotionally.
Mentally, you would think the way things can change in 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Had a full breakdown in December to now. I'm literally. I feel like my mind's bulletproof. I'm enjoying training. I'm just enjoying everything. I'm enjoying the whole process, and I'm going to enjoy the whole process next week. I'm going to be sharing a ring with a man who I never thought I'd even meet. Do you know what I mean? I never thought I would even come across him for a handshake, never mind get a chance to punch him in the face. So, yeah, it's crazy how life can change in the blink of an eye, and that's exactly what's happened for me.
You and I have spoken in depth about your life, the narrative of your life, and fame, and being on Geordie Shore, and the descent into some darkness sometimes and coming back. Are you able to put any detail on why you were feeling so down late last week?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Obviously, I started the year all full of beans. Signed with Boxer. Had, I think it was March. Was it March? Savannah Marshall undercard in my hometown. Everything was going good. I was fit. I was healthy. I just had news that I was having another baby.
Yes.
Then the first thing hit, which was the blood clot in my nose. I had a big hematoma in my nose, which cancelled the fight. And then everything from there. Just the year just didn't seem to get better. Had a little bit of a pick me up with Wasserman Shaw. Then it was downhill again. Another fight cancelled. Then I had a baby who was born, who really wasn't well, who's had multiple surgeries, who's got major head surgery 2 days after the Floyd fight, where they're going to have to cut his skull open from year to year, intensive care, maybe blood transfusions. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a very tough time.
Are you taking great energy from him?
Of course, he's me. You know, he like me kids are on me world, and he like I think I'm a fighter, but that little man is an absolute fighter. He's had 5 surgeries. He's probably got another 8 to 10 to go to get him on the right track. Do you know what I mean? So me fighting Floyd compared to what he's going through is a fucking pinch of salt. Do you know what I mean? It's not even in the same league. So for my kids to grow up, like I watch my son. I've been in hospital with him for weeks on end, operations, and seen him in pain. So if I can be a fighter, obviously I'm just trying to take after him, not him take after me. I'm trying to take after a leap out of his book. So like I say, all these things were going on. Then I had a bad breakup in December, and then like I say, it caught the point where because I was keeping everything in, I just had a full-on breakdown, and I thought I couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel. Not as in I was going to do anything bad, but I couldn't see a way out. Yeah. But then even in that dark time, I would still get up and make the bed and be like, something big's coming, something big. And I used to force it into my head that something big was coming. And then 6 weeks after the breakdown, I got the phone call for the Floyd fight, and my whole life just switched around. My whole life turned on its head. I'm in a routine. I get to see me boys are happy. I'm getting the baby's operation out the way. Do you know what I mean? And looking forward to a summer with me kids and stuff. So yeah, man, like I say, when I look at my son and he's been through everything he's been through in 6 months, me fighting Floyd is a walk in the park when I look at what he's been through. Do you know what I mean? So I take inspiration and a little bit of power from him. So I just want to do all my kids proud on fight night. And it's something in 30 years time, 40 years time, when I've got the shorts, the robe and the boxing gloves on the wall, I can say, look, your dad fought Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, these are the things that I'm looking forward to.
Couple of other things, Aaron. One of the things that's fallen in your favour, I don't know if this was part of the planning, is that all the Newcastle fans are down in London for it's FA Cup, isn't it?
Carabao Cup.
Sorry, Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
At Wembley.
Yeah.
So they'll be coming down in their hordes on the Saturday, and you're expecting or urging a lot of them to, if they're looking for, rather than just going out to Soho and all over London on Saturday night, get themselves down to the O2 Arena, where one of their own is going up against one of the greatest ever.
Well, that, you know what it is? What's the chances? The chances of Newcastle being in a cup final? I think the last time was it 59? 30, over 30 years. I'm sure it was over 30 years, but well, maybe 40 years ago. I'm not sure off the top of my head. In someone from Newcastle fighting Floyd Mayweather in Mayweather's first ever show in the UK. Newcastle fan, Newcastle boy, and then Newcastle in the cup on the Sunday. So everyone I've spoke to said, I'm down on the Saturday. Oh, I want to come to the fight. Do you know what it is? There's tickets there. Come and please support. It would. I just think it would be like having an extra man if I had loads of Toon Army fans in there. It would just be a nice. Yeah, it would be amazing. It would be amazing, and hopefully we'll go on to lift the Carabao Cup on the Sunday. It would just be a weekend I would never ever. I'll never forget in the rest of my life anyway. But to lift the cup the day after I fight Floyd would just be. It would be crazy.
Are you receiving much criticism over it? Because people are criticising exhibitions and YouTuber fighting and influencers fighting. Obviously, as I said a couple of weeks ago, on all the platforms I'm on, yeah, but Aaron's had 7 MMA fights. He used to be a kickboxer. He's trained in martial arts all his life. He was 9 months under Adam Booth. You're very serious about your...
I was 20 months under Adam Booth.
20 months under Adam
20
Booth.
Months,
Have you had any kind of negativity from people over you getting involved in boxing? And
you get the odd Instagram messages, the fake accounts fake accounts. You're gonna get beat off Floyd, blah blah blah. So fuck, because you know what it is. Any single man, and I don't care who you are, do not give a fuck if you've never boxed. Floyd Mayweather offers you an exhibition, you are snapping his hand off. Whether you've had one boxing fight or none, or 10 or 15 or 20, you are taking that fight in an absolute heartbeat. So it's just jealousy. Do you know what it is? Jealousy is the biggest disease in the world. Honest to God, people are still messages going, yeah, it's only a joke. You're not fighting Floyd, in hope that it is a joke. Like, people don't want it to happen, but unfortunately, it's happening, and I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it. I'm going to enjoy everything that comes after it, the money in everything that's coming with it. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy, because no matter what anyone says, I fucking deserve it. And I don't care what anyone says, I deserve it. So if you don't like it, then that's up to you. That's the way I look at things. This money and everything that comes with this fight is for me and my family, and no one's taking that away from us.
Jake Paul apparently is getting a ranking from the WBC if he beats Tommy Fury.
I've seen that.
If you get a draw with Floyd Mayweather, do you deserve a ranking as well? Do you want a ranking, or do you just want these fights with KSI?
You know what it is? I just want the... Listen, I'm no spring chicken anymore. I'm 36 this year. I'm a fit 36-year-old. Do you know what I mean? I am fit. I feel like I'm tough. I give everything. So yeah, I mean, the WBC can keep their rankings. I just want the big money fights. And that's me being honest. I'm not going to beat around the bush and say, yeah, I'm going to win a world title, because nah, I'm not. I know I'm not. But what I can make is a fair few £1 million in the next couple of years fighting these people. So why wouldn't I do that? I've worked my ass off.
Do you think Jake Paul is Jake Fury? Do you think Jake Paul is deluded then when he says he's going to become a world champion in boxing?
Jake Paul's 24. Is he 24?
I 24. Think so, maybe 24, 26.
24. Maybe 24, whatever, 24, 27, whatever he is. So I've got about 9 years on him, Gareth. Got about 9 or 10 years on him, maybe more.
26.
If I was
27.
If I was in, right.
26.
So I've got 10 years on him, basically. See, if I was in this position as I am now 10 years ago.
Would you be saying the same thing? Would you be saying?
I'll be saying I'm going to be a British champion or a European champion, by all means, yeah. Because I would have time on my side. I'd be fit and healthy in 100%. I would 100%.
So
like,
he's not deluded. He's not deluded.
No.
Have you seen him improve?
I mean, don't get us wrong. People are saying he hasn't fought a boxer. Anyone that watches combat sports will know Tyrone Woodley in the heyday was knocking people out, fucking spark out, and I mean out cold. So to go in there on, I think it was his 4th fight, and do what he done to Tyrone Woodley, surely that's got to give him credit. He then boxed Anderson Silva, who was one of the best strikers in the middleweight division for 10 years.
Ever.
And I'm not just talking ever in the UFC. And I'm not just talking, like, he was the amount of people he knocked out with his hands. Like, people can say, oh yeah, but they're not boxers. Okay then. Well, you get in there and do some damage to them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't not be a good boxer if you've competed at the highest level for 10 years and been a world champion in the UFC. I don't care what anyone says. You might not be an out-and-out boxer, but you can certainly box. So I think he gets a lot of hate. Jealousy, though. It's a lot of jealousy because he's making serious money. But he's also doing all the promotion.
I know he's a very good promoter. Like, he's as good as promoter as you are.
He's good as anyone.
Is he capable of beating Tommy Fury?
100%. I think he beats him.
Do you?
100%. Yeah.
Why?
Why? No disrespect to Tommy, but Tommy's pulled out twice, right? For whatever reason, I don't know. More pressure is on Tommy's shoulders. 100 times more pressure is on Tommy's shoulders than Jake's shoulders. Tommy beats Jake. Wow, you beat a YouTuber, so you should. That's how it's going to go. You beat a YouTuber, but you should beat him because you're from a boxing family. Your brother's a world champion. Jake beats Tommy. Tommy's called him a YouTuber this whole time. Tyson and his dad have said if Tommy loses, they retire him from boxing because if he can't beat a YouTuber, he doesn't deserve to box. So for me, Tommy might have had the great. I know he's had good. I know I sparred some lads up the north who I know and said he's hitting hard and stuff and all this kind of stuff. but the pressure is on Tommy's shoulders. Like you say, if Jake loses, all right, you got beat off the heavyweight champion's brother, who's a boxer. It's not really a big loss for Jake. It'll set him back. But Jake's got his own promotion company. He could fucking fight again next month and still get paid 3-4 million.
Yeah.
Tommy, for me, the whole pressure is on Tommy's shoulders because he's pulled out twice and because of what everyone's thinking. Like, Tommy has to win. Basically, Tommy has to win. Otherwise, well, his dad says he's going to retire him. So if that's not pressure, and his dad, I feel like his dad's very old school. Like, he's basically saying you cannot get beat off a YouTuber. Like, that there is pressure in itself. If your dad's telling you can't get beat, that's a added pressure that is like that you don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who do you think gets it? And I think Jake is I've watched some of Tommy's fights. He's really good going forward. He is good. But then I was watching him just yesterday in the gym. Actually, one of the lads had his fight on. When he goes back, he kind of goes back 2 and 3 steps straight with his chin high. So I don't know. I mean, listen,
on paper, I think Tommy should win, but there's something about Jake Paul and his self-belief and the fact that
I don't think he's got nothing to lose.
He's got him exactly. It's a bit like you. You've got nothing to lose against Mayweather. You were saying it earlier, and that gives you a weird confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Weirdly.
because what have you got to like? So if just say Floyd beats me, let's say for instance Floyd puts me, ref jumps in round 5. What's people going to say online? You got beat off Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he's had 50 fights. I've had 1. So yeah, I did. That's a standard thing. Anything other than that, people are going to be like, "What the fuck?" People should probably think he's going to bowl me over in 1 or 2 rounds. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, that for me, there's a no lose. This for me is a no lose situation in any way, shape, or form. Jake, no lose situation because I don't know. I just think with Tommy pulling out twice, there's a reason he's pulled out, and I've heard on the grapevine through with people that he needed more training, he needed more sparring. I know he's had from what I've heard, he's had a good camp, sparred loads of people. People are saying he's hitting hard. But then they've got a big weight cut as well, haven't they? Is it cruiserweight?
Well, I think they're fighting at cruiserweight, aren't they? Something like
what's that, 90?
200 pounds is going to be. So they're big boys. I mean, Jake is a big lad. Look, just tell me finally, because this Zoom is going to end.
Yeah.
Tell me finally, what's the dream year for you ahead?
Honestly, I don't know if I would get them all in, but if I could get a KSI, a Tommy, or a Jake in this year, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to sit down with the PFL in Newcastle in March and talk about a double crossover. Jake
That's
and boxing.
Professional Fighters League MMA.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah,
Jake in the PFL, Jake in the boxing. So a crossover. I'll fight him in boxing. He fights me in the PFL.
Are you more likely to fight Jake in the PFL than in boxing at the moment, do you think?
No. Well, we're going to try and do it as a double. We're going to try and do. And I know Kay's been talking to Jake's team, and they said that I need a few more wins before we start talking about it. So, to me, being active, if I could even get, let's say, Tyrone Woodley, Tommy, and then on to Jake in December, that would be a fucking great year. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so you want Tommy as well? You definitely want Tommy.
Of course. The reason I want Tommy is because he's the reason I started boxing. I started to fight Tommy when I had never been in a boxing gym. It didn't materialise because my brain scan didn't come back. I had a year waiting out. And I feel like that's the fight. That's why I started boxing. That's why I went to Adam Booth's. So that's the fight that I really want because he's the reason that I got into it. Not that I know Tommy. I don't know him. He's probably a nice kid. He seems nice and things. But he's the reason I started boxing. So I feel like he's the one that I want to have before it's all said and done.
Aaron, stay well. I can't wait to see you next week. And
make sure you're there. Make sure you're there on Friday when I've weighed back in, not before.
I'm gonna be there all week.
Oh Jesus! So you're gonna say he's looking at me worse. You've seen it all before.
Cheers, mate. Great to catch up.
Cheers, Gareth.